All right, let's talk a little bit about how to determine how much power you will need for your lights. Each light should have a sticker on it. It looks something like this. It's a UL sticker. And in there somewhere, you will see something about the number of the volts, and the volts will typically be for LED lights, and I would encourage you just to buy LED lights. There's really not a reason to buy traditional lights anymore. The LEDs have really surpassed the ability of traditional lights. And you'll see here, this says 120 volts, and then it's 1.4 amps, 99 watts. And the key piece of information that you want here are the number of watts, because the voltage is just going to be whatever it is here. For us in the United States, it'll be 120 volts. For other places in the world, it'll be different things. And a lot of the lights are compatible with both. You just have to look at the labels and make sure it's going to match your region. So the number of watts is the important thing. For here in the United States, we have between the breakers and the circuits that we have are between 15 and 20 amps per circuit. And that's just typical for church buildings. And what you do to get the number of watts is you multiply the number of volts times the number of amps. And so if you go to your panel and you look at your circuit for the outlets that you're going to plug these into, you can then see, hey, outlets are usually on 20 amp circuits in commercial buildings. And you can multiply that by 120, or I oftentimes will just round down for a little bit of safety to 100. And so 20 times 100 is 2,000. So 2,000 watts is what that can support. And the rating on these lights will be the maximum that the light will draw. And so in this case, this light, this Chauvet wash light, will draw 99 watts max. And so technically, I could put approximately 20 of these on one circuit. Now, that's not always the best thing to do, is to run it at the max. And so you usually want to go down to some fraction of the maximum, maybe 75%, and do that. Now in this case, they actually have said on here how many you're supposed to be able to put together. And so you kind of have an idea. These draw 8 amps. Now part of the reason for that is that the power actually passes through this device. And so there can be a limit on how much power can pass through the device versus how much power your outlets will actually provide. So in certain cases, you may only be able to, let's say, chain 8 of these together, and then you would need another cable coming from your outlet to chain another 8 together. And those 8 together would be approximately 1,600 watts, which would be about what you'd want to put on a single circuit. So that'll give you an idea of how exactly to figure that out. And each one of your lights will be different, and whatever lights you buy, you just have to keep an idea of what the wattage is, so that as you string them together, you know that it's going to work or not. And when you put it all together, what you want to do is test and turn all the lights on to maximum, and make sure that you don't blow any of your circuit breakers in case you made a mistake. And you don't want to find out that you've overloaded a circuit during one of your worship services and then have the whole thing go off and have to go back and reset everything. So that's an overview of how to handle the wattage on your lights.